DC versus Vampires, issue 5. This is James Tynion IV with Matthew Rosenberg, and Otto Schmidt is on the art.
And Simone DeMille.
And we ended last issue with the Justice League showing up in the Batcave, the rest of them believing Hal and Diana, that Batman and Oliver were responsible for the death of Barry. And pretty much all of this issue, more or less, is the fight that takes place in the Batcave and the ups and downs of it, and how Batman and Oliver eventually get away. They try and obviously stick up for their side of this. Batman, controversially perhaps, seems like he's about to prove it to Cyborg that he's got some evidence, but instead just uses the chance to shock the shit out of Cyborg so they can, make their escape.
But it's also very Batman still.
Oh, it is very Batman, I'm not denying that.
He knocks out all the power in Gotham, which, when you're dealing with an infestation of vampires, is not ideal, So maybe he overplayed his hand here.
It's not ideal, but also they're not hurt by the electric lights anyway, so...
Well, that's what I mean, but, you'd want to see them coming, So...
Well, that's what torches are for.
Yes, but Batman, the vampires may have adopted the dark, but on the art, it's nicely split up. It's these Suicide Squad scenes where they're hunting the Joker that are in the different art style by and large. So,
which was the first page, and I was like, "This isn't Schmidt." Immediately,
that's what I said.
I was like, "You're wrong. I like it. I like Simone DeMille. I'm a fan." But immediately, I was like, "This is not Schmidt."
So, I know Tynion plotted this, but I want to know how much control Rosenberg's doing this, because we've gotten a vampiric Gorilla Grodd, and now we had a vampiric King Shark.
From what I gather from Tynion's newsletter when he was talking about this, is he basically had an outline. He didn't he didn't plot issue by issue. I don't think he kind of had, here's the story, here's the major beats. And that was and that was as far as he got with his pitch, essentially. Greenlit, and then that's when he got busy and kind of backed out.
Gotcha. So then this is just more praise for Rosenberg, because his voice for Ollie, I love. As he's arguing with Batman as they're fighting the Justice League, and then he says something, and I don't have it open in front of me, to Cyborg.
He calls him a freak, but he says, because of the vampire thing, not the cyborg thing.
Yeah, because we're good about the robot thing.
Yeah, I've always been cool with that.
That's a very Ollie.
And it was like when he asked Bruce, what's Diana's weakness? And he's like, a friend. And he's like, well, that doesn't help.
Because
we go through a sequence of him using different weaknesses. He's got kryptonite dust that he spits in Clark's face, which sort of takes him out for a bit.
Does he have because I didn't, maybe I missed a panel of him put it in or something, but does he have a false tooth?
I think it's just a false tooth. It's like agents have a cyanide tooth. Yeah,
he's that prepared. He has the.
But it just the fight scenes are Schmidt is a good artist, right? So the fight through the Batcave, which ends in the destruction of the manor, right?
Yeah. Well, it's not even just that it ends. Batman sets off the manor because he's like, we have to slow them down. We have to. Yeah. So on.
He checks that everyone's out of the cave for all the
the humans,
the good people. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I like the panels around the city though after powers went out. You see Cass with the laptop and Damien's having a burger in a restaurant with no lights.
So do we think the Joker's actually a vampire?
Well, that's the thing. They're playing it close to the chest here. So I think the characters all seem to think he is, which makes me think he might not be now. But they could go either way.
Because I always feel like it's the Infinite Crisis reason that they didn't reach out to Joker, right? That Alexander Luthor didn't, is because you can't control him. And I feel that's what whoever is running the vampires would feel with Joker is that's the last thing we need. Yeah. Is a Joker running around with vampirism.
Do you think Joker knows the dinosaurs are real?
Yeah. He might be the one that started dinosaurs aren't real.
He might have told Harley that in the first place.
Yeah. So, but this is just I still can't believe we're in a time where we have a DC versus vampires book. That's just wild, and it's pretty good.
It's we were talking about this list. We got the Justice League, Jurassic Park. We got the Mecha DC stuff. It's all. This is just another one of those where it's just, hey, let's just do a stupid concept and have fun with it. If the others are half as fun as this, I'll keep reading them because they're just something nice and different to have alongside the main books.
Some things glossed over though. Batman sends Martian Manhunter somewhere in space with the teleporter, and then destroys the teleporter. So that's what gets rid of him. Batgirl, meaning Babs, does show up to help the Suicide Squad when they're in their pickle with Vampire King Shark. Like you said, there's a running joke with Harley not thinking dinosaurs are real, like vampires. We also see Wonder Woman, because Hawkgirl actually sees evidence of Wonder Woman being a vampire, and then Wonder Woman kills her. So we get that dark little bit of scene in the fight, and it's all bubbling up.
Ollie not taking the shot at Hal for the first shot. He's like, he's just like, I because Hal's like his best friend. He's like, maybe I'm missing something. Maybe there's another way out.
You don't. He's like, you missed. That's not you. I like that page too. Because he says to Bruce, that's totally you, and then he goes, that's not you, to Ollie, and that was such a good moment.
Damian and Tim ride down the motorbike to help them out, and then they all escape the mansion together as Batman blows it up behind them. So the cliffhanger though is that Hal and Diana are left standing there, and Superman's just kind of getting back up. And they're like, "Oh, don't worry, Clark, we've got you now." And it's the red glowing eyes and the silhouette. The idea being that they're about to try and turn Superman into a vampire.
Yeah. So I'm still. I hope they have a plan for this, because being that Superman is a living solar battery, it seems like even if they try to turn him, I don't think.
Well, eventually they'll lose his Superman powers, in theory, right? He'll just be a person,
right? But would that be enough
with vampire
to keep
strength
in check though? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean?
I mean, as long as he'd have vampire powers though, at least. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Right? Are they going to turn? Right? Are they going to turn him into a daywalker, basically?
Well, no, why would he would still get hurt by sunlight though?
But if he gets into sunlight, that would burn out the vampirism.
That's a bleep.
I'm just saying, like, it doesn't. Like, I know he got hit with the kryptonite, right? So I don't know how the Kryptonian physiology and the vampirism, because they made a point to say that, I think it was Martian Manhunter.
Yes.
That they're unsure how that would affect his alien physiology. Now, is that because Martian Manhunter and his, phasing and shape-shifting, or is it because he's an alien and that this is a, how the vampirism works? I'm just not sure how with Kryptonian DNA and the cells being what they are.
I mean, I think Kryptonians are basically just humans from a different planet, and the only thing that makes them different is his relationship to the sun. So, I would say that because the kryptonite presumably right now has made him weak enough that they can bite into him, like maybe because normally they wouldn't be able to, I assume. That
unless you take the argument that the vampirism is magical.
Right. Well, if it's magical, then all bets are off, right? But I feel like if it was magical, I feel like that still is magical, but there's still a biological source, right? Because then they wouldn't talk about it, not knowing how it affects Jean.
Yeah, I think they're treating this more as biological.
Yeah, you know me. I'm definitely on team biological when it comes to vampires and zombies.
I'm just saying, does this lead to Superman being Angel? That's all.
No.
No, because they all turn evil. Like, there's no indication of any of them still having their soul, for lack of a better term.
Yeah. I'm so sorry about Hal turning Diana so quick. With the hypnotism. And, not losing Clark. Damn it. Not without a fight.
I mean, the truth is, we don't know how his body will react to it, or what will happen if the sun hits him. Because the sun makes him stronger, but now he's going to have this new thing in him that he's now allergic to the sun.
Right, which is why my assumption is he becomes a vampire, he can't go in the sun, his powers fade because he's not getting recharged by the sun, but he has vampire powers, like standard vampire strength and whatever, but he doesn't have his Superman powers anymore. That would be my assumption. Yeah,
the idea that he goes out into the sun and the sun just kind of like burns out the vampire disease, for lack of a better term. Like, they might go that route. I think that would be a little hokey though, to do that.
I just think we're gonna get a scene where they try to turn him and they can't because of
I think they don't, because I think it makes this story too easy for the good guys if Superman is because at the minute the fact that he doesn't believe that they're vampires is what's keeping them in check.
Right.
If Superman's like, oh yeah, no, they're vampires, I'll go stop them. And I know you can say that about any story, but this story has very pointedly made a focus of choosing to follow Batman, the Bat Family, Ollie, Dinah, characters
the more
without
human heroes,
powers, right? The underdogs. As soon as you give them Superman, the balance of power completely changes, and I think I don't think the story holds up as well in the back half if you do that. So I suspect that they can't really. Maybe Superman just tries to go in the sun because he has to recharge and it kills him anyway. Like maybe that's how you do it. I don't know, but I feel like you can't just have it burn him out and then he's back to normal and still knows everything, because then you gotta have another way to put Superman back in the box.
The most likely outcome, I would say, I mean, not necessarily from a writing perspective, but just from if I'm thinking about in the context of the universe, I would say that if someone tried to infect Superman or make him a vampire, I would suggest that because his body is solar powered, that his body in some level will just reject the virus because
that's what I'm thinking.
It just won't play nice with it. It'll just like react to it. Hell, you could tell me that it'll just instantly kill him because his body just won't be able to like decide between the two. It'll just instantly be like, oh, these are all solar powered cells and we are vampire cells, and just like, oh, it turns out that was the quickest way to kill Superman. He's trying to turn him into a vampire. No, I don't see it going that way, but I could understand the argument for it, is what I'm saying. Fun issue, though. Fun issue. I think the idea of like treating the fact that they have to hold off the entire Justice League on their own, Batman and Green Arrow, like given that whole issue to sort of sell how much of a fight it is and just how much they barely get out. And obviously Oliver cracking jokes that Batman's got a plan in place for all of them is just kind of fun stuff. So decent time, and some of the world building around the other characters on the outside also decent. All right, Matt, what are you rating DC versus Vampires?
I wasn't a big fan of the other art. Like, it's not bad, but I want more Schmidt. So probably if it was all Schmidt, I'd give it higher, but I'll give this an 8.
Still relatively high, Connor.
Yeah, I am a big fan of the other art, and I'm still going with an 8.
Yeah, I had a fun time. I'll go with it too. Let's make it a straight 8 across the board.